Hello, what's up, guys? Oh, hey. People just stick around from Civ. So, hey, this is a game called Oh Dear. And we played this back on GDPG quite some time ago. Um and it's been a while since I've actually picked it up. I think it was back in that was its alpha back when we played it, and now it's in beta. So I kind of I figured this would be a good game to play for just like an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I never got a chance to actually beat it on the show, so maybe I'll be able to beat it this time. So yeah, this is made by Necrosoft Games, and it was a humble original at one point. I'm sure it's going to get a full release at some point on Steam or maybe other platforms too, but basically the goal of the game is to get to Grandma's house. So that's what we're going to do. Here we go, here we go. So basically, I, well, I guess there's nothing that specifically tells you, but I'm pretty sure you're supposed to hit as many deer as you possibly can. And I absolutely love the art of this game. Like, duplicated billboards. Ooh, yeah, that's the trick. Okay, so we have to drift effectively. And so pulling in and out of drifts is how you make it through these curves, but it's also how you can kind of like, oh, I missed the white deer. It's how you oh no. It's how you basically get in the right trajectory to like hit all the deer. And obviously if you hit the border, you kind of get a little timeout. And the challenge is, if you don't get to the end in time, you run out of gas, basically. Ooh. And so this is a new zone. And we basically are going through multiple zones until we can make it all the way to Grandma's house. And I believe... this wasn't happening when we played it way back on GDPG, but I think the idea is the more deer you hit, the weirder things get. And I mean, in general, just the longer you play, the weirder things get. I mean, like, now we're suddenly in a tropical island. Oh, there we go. But this game is so much fun, and the art is fantastic. It's so hard to turn away. This was probably one of my favorite Humble originals that I've seen yet. Oh, but that was a weird deer. Oh, there we go. This is the white deer. Oh. There we go. Yes. Wow, Zone 3. I thought I was gonna not be super good. I'm definitely not doing great either, but I thought I'd be doing worse since it's been so long since I've picked this up. Oh, I think that's the other thing. If you go into a drift too soon, so you don't accelerate while you're drifting, so in order to keep up your momentum, you have to drive straight, or at least that's how you speed up, and then drifting maintains momentum. Ooh, that's tight. Oh boy. It's just cool, like, how much interesting gameplay you can get out of something that's just like, turn left, now turn right, now turn left, now turn right, and maybe turn left twice, and there you go. Ooh. Yeah, and I'm not sure what they've added since we played it way back in the alpha. It's possible that they fine-tuned it to be a little bit easier, too. Oh, and that's I guess that's my gas meter on the left. Yeah, it's not boding super well. Oh, no. Oh, no. Come on, if I could just make it to the next zone. That's all I want. Oh, but it doesn't necessarily replenish your gas. Oh, it does. Okay, never mind. Whew. Yeah, that was tight. Oh, but maybe it only replenishes it up to a certain point. And so I think in the alpha, this was the last area. I could be wrong. And I beat it only once. So I'm not sure if there's much else other than that. But there's also an endless mode too, which is just kind of fun. Oh, things got spooky. So I guess if you hit specific types of deer, things get, weird. Oh, I'm running out of gas. Oh, no. But the deer, though. So that's not super bad. Hit 344, avoided 300, so I hit more than I missed, so there's that. Yeah. Bam. So I guess I'll just keep going until I make it or not, and then I could always check out things like oh hey, it actually does have my old leaderboards on here. That's kind of fun. Deer avoided. So it does score on both, which is kind of nice. Deer hit in survival, deer avoided in survival. That's pretty straightforward. Oh, and it gives you some instructions. Okay, so when near or on a curve, stop accelerating and quickly tap the brake while steering before accelerating again. The faster you do it, the less speed you'll lose. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. Every year, over 1 million deer are killed in auto collisions on the roads of America. Don't be part of that statistic. Watch for road signs and slow down for animal buddies. They're here first in something made of Pride Kenosha. Oh, Brandon Sheffield. I didn't know that he worked on this. Ah. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Okay. Sorry, I was making sure that everything was up and running okay. Okay, let's give it another try. I do appreciate, though, that deer hit and deer missed are two separate stats and equally treated like high scores. Aw, I missed the white deer. Makes me wonder if they have anything particular planned for either of those paths. Aw, for the full release. Shoot, I had you on and didn't even know. You were back. Yeah, what's up, Henry? I was wondering where all my chatters were. I saw that there were a couple people in here. I figured people just left the stream up. Ooh. So this is, Oh Deer. How long have you been going? Only about 10 minutes tops. I only did one run of this so far and made it surprisingly far. Further than I thought I would. But I mean, you pretty much can get a sense of what the game is just by looking at it. It's sort of like an old school racer where you either have to hit or avoid as many of the deer as possible, and obviously not crash into the things on the border of the racetrack. And the whole goal is to get to Grandma's house. Oh, I missed the red deer. Oh, I missed the white deer. Ooh. And it's all about conserving your gas. So it uses, oh boy. It uses the old school model of you run out of gas until you're like running out of time or gas until you hit a checkpoint. Then you hit the checkpoint and then, you know, you get a resupply of time and or gas or whatever the mechanic really is. And there's nothing in particular that the like different colored deer do. The white deer seem to have like a more happy effect, whereas the red deer are definitely a more grim, kind of gruesome, kind of creepy effect. Oh boy. Come on, there we go. That's what I'm trying to get. Except now I'm slowing down a little too much. Ooh. I wonder if you like miss too many white deer and only hit red deer, if it gets particularly creepy. So I think that's what I'll do in some of the subsequent runs. Hitting red deer is pretty tough though. Just go straight, come on. Pulling him out of the drift is a little tough sometimes, especially when you're still, whoop. That worked out. Ooh. Oh boy. There's one of the white deer. The blue deer? Not totally sure. It all happened so fast. Oh, here we go. Oh, I missed the red deer. Yeah, see, the red deer are always put in probably the toughest spots. Saw this on GDPG. Yeah, we played this back on the show way back. I think it was considered an alpha back then. But maybe it was beta and it really hasn't changed much since then. I'm not totally sure because it seems mostly the same since then. Which is fine, like the game's still great. I'm still would love to see what they have planned for the eventual full release. Yeah, give me that white deer. And that red deer. Spooky! Oh, things are not looking good. Oh no. Oh, come on. But I want to make it to Grandma's. Just gotta make it to Grandma's. That's all I gotta do. Come on, come on, come on. I gotta be close. I gotta be close. Oh. There's weird stuff happening on the side. Oh, is that it? Oh, I made it to Grandma's. That's Grandma's house. Oh, did I just pause it? Resume? Oh, there we go. But yeah, Eddie talked me into watching you both and having you on mute, so I did. And then he was asking me how his video audio was, and I had to mute you to switch to him. That guy. And I forgot that you had your stream open and was another tab and expecting to hear you when I was doing my thing. Oh, that's pretty fair. 431, that's not bad. For being a deer murderer. Well, cool. I'm glad I was... Oh, here we go. Here's the credits. So what was the part that I missed? They were here first, and they are definitely way cooler than us. Oh, dear. Made with pride in Berkeley, I'm not going to be able to pronounce it. Wow, from a bunch of places. Oh, so the director was Brandon Sheffield. All these people are great to follow on Twitter, by the way, so you should do that. Dude, deers gotta get murdered, horny jerks. I love that the auto mod was like, should we let this comment through? Okay, so I'm gonna do... Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do endless mode, which really just, it loops different environments. But I'm gonna see if I can just hit a bunch of the red deer and see if anything crazy happens. Still not the mod yet, so I got modded. Yeah, well, we'll talk about that, Henry, when for the Twitch. At some point, I need to kind of figure out some good like ground rules before I do that. I mean, like, it probably won't really be any different than the Discord, but yeah. I mean, you're a pretty good person for a mod since you're pretty much always here, so I have no complaints about that. Boy, I did not start this off strong. Oh, here we go. Yeah, and got that white deer. I'm surprised I'm even able to read any of this. Ooh. It is kind of a fun place to hide secrets too in a game like this, where it's like, oh, you know, if you hit a lot of the red deer, crazier stuff starts happening. So you have to like intentionally play the more difficult way and aim for the harder targets, just to see secret content. And I kind of dig that. It'd be interesting if there were means of having secret paths too. I think I talked about this on the show too, but yeah, I don't know. There's just so many things you could do with this. Oh, hey, there's some deer there. Oop, that was poor turning. There we go. Music is special. I love the music. I mean, it's intentionally like kind of trippy, you know? Oop. And the music, I think this wasn't working when we played it on GDPG. Oh, interesting, there were 2 white deer. But I think the music or the sound wasn't working when we played it on the show. So it's kind of nice hearing it now. And the music changes based on, you know, how many deer you hit or what kind of deer you hit. But you should check out their Twitter for the game too. There's some interesting art on there that seems to be maybe part of Oh Deer, and I'm not totally sure, but also it's like, oh boy, this is what the game could devolve to. Oh boy, I was definitely not in a good place there. Like how the tunnels are just billboard sprites. Isn't it great? Well, and this is how, like, old school... Oh, whoa, I think the white deer speed you up. But yeah, that's like how old school racing games used to work before 3D graphics were even really feasible. And so I love seeing the modern application of that. Also, speaking of playing games that we used to play in GDPG, I think I'm going to make it a point to kind of play through more games in beta or alpha, like earlier stages, like pre-finish on the stream, just because I think it's a really good place to kind of explore how the games change. Like Children of Morta, I've been meaning to come back to for a long time. And I would love to play through the different versions of that on stream, even if it's like once per stream. But that's kind of what I like about the vagueness of the Saturday streams is, you know, we could kind of really just do whatever. Ooh, clouds. Oh, that was a red deer. I think that was the first red deer too. Oh man, I'm running out of juice. Running out of juice. Oh no! Come on, can I make it? Oh! Oh, I made it. Right? Maybe? This is a new area though. Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. That wasn't bad though. Ah, Bunker Punks. Yeah, that would be another good one. Miles run. 5 miles. Okay. I kind of wish it would keep my my initials. Not that it takes that long to input them. But that's like a polish thing, I think. Let's try go to Grandma's, and I think there were more red deer there. I'm gonna see if I can switch things up in any way. Go back to Curious Expedition, game that put you on my radar. You know, that's not a bad idea. There have been some pretty significant updates on the Curious Expedition since I last played it, and I kind of would love to see that again. That dev team is pretty great too. Like there's some pretty fun people. That's one though that I have to like. That's got to be a full stream in itself. You know, it's possible that the red deer only shows up after you've hit a certain amount of other deer. So maybe I should avoid the white deer altogether. Like maybe it purges, like clears, you know, kind of your evil doings. That's my recommending it. Whoop. That's what I get for reading the comments. I have no regrets! Just slowly hit every single one of them. Boy, this is a really bumpy bridge we're on. No white deers, only red deers. Oh, come on. Oh, man. That was close. I wonder if there's any randomization to this too. For all I know, this is a set path every single time. It's hard to tell because it's just, you know, there's few unique parts, and obviously, like each map is set. Like I always go to through the same progression. Oh, no white deers. It'd be kind of cool if they give you something for getting to Grandma's house without hitting a single deer too, which would definitely be a challenge. Yeah, give me that gas. Okay, so I definitely don't get a full bill of gas every single time. Whoop, whoop. Oh no! So maybe I'll do that next. I'll try avoiding as many deer as I can. See if that makes a difference. It's just such a crazy idea for a game. Like, how does this come into someone's mind? Like, someone must have had some interesting nostalgia for old school racing games, and like on a trip, you know, down south or something, or maybe, yeah, I don't know, anywhere really where you might find deer, which is the entire country or continent really, and just like thought about the frequency of, oh, that one's tough too. See, and that's why I think that hitting the red deer is important, because that was a red deer followed by a white deer, so it's like, oh, it cancels it out. Unless you're good enough to avoid the white deer. Oop. Maybe the red deer's like the demon deer, and it's the only one you're supposed to kill. That's what I'm saying. I think that's a white deer. And a red deer? Oh. Well. Yeah, maybe red deer slows you down, but also makes things spoopy. No. Too bad Eddie has to be doing Overwatch and what his other one, can't remember. Anyways, I oddly have very little interest in watching competitive first-person shooters. I love the cast in that game, though. Maybe red deer only happen when you get white deer and they're meant to slow you down. It's possible. But yeah, that's why I don't really stream things like Overwatch or like PUBG or anything like that. Like, that's all the stuff that popular streamers do. And it's a little sad to me that that's what most people want to... I mean, I get why it's fun to watch those too, don't get me wrong. I'm just like, there's so many interesting games out there. Why stick to always the same, like, 3 types of games? Like, you're not really gonna see anyone streaming this game, and it's like, it's so interesting. I guess it's pretty short, all things considered, but like, you know, you don't see a lot of games like this getting a lot of love on Twitch, and I think that's something that should change. I mean, like, and that's definitely where, like, gonna avoid as many deer as possible. That's where I hope to help. Even if I'm a little streamer, you know? It's like, just gotta do my part and stream the games that maybe don't get enough love. And that's definitely something we did with Game Devs Play Games too. You know, to moderate success, I suppose, even though it ended up getting canned in the end. Whoa, oh, that was close. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no deer today. Oh dear, there's a lot of deer. Yeah, I'm not interested in those games. Sea of Thieves, I'm interested in though. Yeah, I watched a couple of streams of Sea of Thieves and just like felt unconvinced, but still interested. So if Eddie wants to stream that, I'll probably pick it up and pick a couple of Sundays to stream with him. Oh, 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 there it goes. Oh, no. Oh, I've ruined everything. I was doing okay, though. That was 2 whole zones without hitting any deer. I wonder if hitting deer in general slows you down. I don't think it does, but... yeah, I guess they don't bring out the red deer until later than I thought. So maybe it is sort of a challenge thing, like you hit it and slows you down. Also, I dig the music being kind of your cue of changing zones. It sort of gives you that audio cue of like, oh, I'm safe. Like, I'll be able to survive for a little bit longer. Oh, that was close. Whoop, well, I screwed that one up. Well, might as well kill all the deer now. No, Henry, no. That's not how this works. Oh, shoot. Ooh, I need to stop holding on to that brake. That's what I gotta do. I mean, I'm not doing horrible in terms of maintaining gas. I feel like I've had worse runs. Oh boy. Whoop. I've had worse runs. There we go. There we go. A little bit better. Ooh. Oh, you definitely still speed up sometimes when you're drifting. super happy that those don't do anything bad to your car. Ooh. Okay, so it speeds up when you're going downhill. That's definitely a thing. Ooh. Oh. Hey, but at least I can avoid them. As few deer as possible. Oh boy, I have like no gas for this next part. Let's see if I can do it. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, this is probably gonna be a wash. That's okay though. I keep accidentally holding on brake as I try to keep the drift going. It's like, nah, that's just gonna make you a lot slower, Chris. Oop. Oh no. Ah, everything's horrible. That bumpy road though. I wonder what other locations they might have thought of doing when they were designing this. Sea of Thieves, I think it's fun. I think its fun is conditional on playing with others. Content is a bit light, but dang man, they have made a robust and pretty sandbox to play in. Speaking of Randy's house, ever played the game The Path? I have played the game The Path. It's a pretty good game actually. I think I played that in school, believe it or not, as part of a discussion of like game design, but also art house games. And I don't think we were necessarily saying that the game was art house, but it has a message to it, and that was sort of the reason why we discussed it from a game design perspective. Okay, let's do this one more time, and try to hit as many deer as possible. Also, by the way, during the Civ stream, when I was talking about how OBS was yelling at me about the dropped frames, definitely was Civ. So I think there's something weird going on with the renderer for Civ. But when we come back to that, hopefully I'll figure out some kind of solution for that. At least it worked out okay on the stream itself. If I can avoid everyone and only hit the red deer, I think I'm gonna try that. See if this makes a difference. Easier said than done. Well, there I go. Screwing up twice. Also, the path was made with Blender, like the 3D modeling program. I mean, like, the art assets were made with Blender in that case, but I mean, that's believable. You could still make some good 3D art with Blender. My only argument about Blender is that its tools aren't as useful for working on larger scale projects, or at least with the team, because it's not as like expected to know how to use Blender, whereas something like Maya or 3ds Max, you know, you can pretty much put that on your like requirements list and people will, you know, be like, yes, I have trained how to use 3ds Max. And it's a pretty safe thing to look for. I mean, that's really how like industry standards can even come about for the most part, is like, these tools are deemed most useful, so we're just going to request that people know these skills. Bam. Okay, so it only really gets spooky for a little bit. So yeah, maybe it does slow you down. It really must be all it does. Dang, I kind of hoped it would be a little bit more than that. But, you know, doesn't really need to be. It's a small little indie game that was probably made really without with a lot of uncertainty about how much people would actually want to like buy into it or you know, if people would actually be excited to play it. And, you know, maybe I'm in the minority there, so I still think it's great, though. I think this is a wonderful design. Oop, oh, there goes another deer. Oh dear. I guess on the plus side, hitting red deer isn't a super dramatic effect as far as as far as like, you know, consequences. It slows you down, but it's not as severe as crashing into the wall, you know, where it's a total reset and you lose all momentum. Which I think that's a good choice in the end. Oh. I think I missed that white deer. Another game I'm definitely gonna play a ton of when it's out. Oh, I missed it. Is Fight Night, because Fight Night, that's my jam. Yeah, it's a shame I didn't have enough time to make a fun little thumbnail for this prior to the stream. I like to have some kind of nice big visual to be like, hey, look at this. This is the game that I'm playing. But I'll probably come back to this. Ooh, even I kind of did a little bit more of a full stop there. But I'll probably come back and play this again when they get out of beta. If they ever actually do come out of, I mean, you know, who knows? If they even want to come out of beta. It's definitely not unheard of to stay in perpetual beta. Rampage Night Bro. Watching Eddie's stream was a bit tough. His widescreen was actually detrimental with having the chat open and having 1080p screen of the UI. Civ was hard to read, so he was asking me if I wanted him to confirm his declaration of war, not having played Civ nor being able to read Eddie's screen without squinting. I wasn't sure what he was getting at. Yeah, that's pretty fair. I feel like Eddie's a little extra proud of that extra wide screen when it's like nobody wants to support these things. They're such a pain to build games for, let alone things like streaming. Come on, man. But I find out the hard way. Okay, well, let's see if I can get to Grandma's house in this last run. And then maybe we'll either move to a different game or call the stream. And we'll see. This is... I should set up a one of those Humble Partner Program things. But this is in the Humble Trove, I think is what they call it. But if I set up a Humble Partner, or set up an account as a Humble Partner, basically... Oh yeah, that super speeds you up. Whoa! Anytime anyone buys a Humble bundle or, you know, subscribes to monthly, that'll actually give me money, which would be kind of cool. So maybe I'll start playing more Humble games or something and see if people are interested in that. Every little bit helps, I guess, is really the whole point that I'm getting at. Even if it's just enough to buy a coffee. That's still super nice. Yeah. obviously I've gone back to just murderizing the deer. Ooh. You know, it's possible that the red deer also suck up some of the fuel. I don't think the white deer... I think we confirmed in GDPG that the white deer don't give you more fuel, but... Whoop, whoop, oh no. Oh, everything's horrible. Oh, once you get stuck in those, like, edges, it's so hard to pull yourself away. Dude, the second your Twitch becomes official, I'm subscribing. Thanks, Henry. Don't know if it's... I'm a fan of chaotic aberration? Chromatic aberration. Are you talking about how it changes, like, shifts color hues? Oh, there I am holding the brake again. That'll probably be what causes me to lose. Because you just gotta tap it. If you don't tap it, you're done. Son. Oh, I missed the white deer. Ooh, boy. I guess really that's the trick. If it's such a steep curve that even if you're drifting, you can't, like, avoid hitting the wall, that's when you would use the brake while drifting to make sure you slow down just enough that you don't slam into the wall. Because that's still, slowing down is still better than resetting. There we go. Yeah! Whoop, well, there goes that. I think that's the official term when it goes blurry and all colory. Whoop, well, at least I missed the red deer. I mean, it's supposed to be kind of a trippy game, I think. So I think it's appropriate. It does a good job at kind of adding to that effect that the game's going for. I could definitely see why, like, you may not really prefer it as an artistic choice. But I think, like, you know, it's a good way of kind of modernizing its aesthetic, even though it's using the old school sprite billboards for its environment. I don't know, I kind of dig it, honestly. It adds into the, like, weird surrealism of the design in general. Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to Grandma's. It's gonna be a close call. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Dang. It wasn't terrible, though. At least I got to Grandma's once. Oh, and there it is! Oh, I was so close. Oh, well. How many did I hit? It was okay. Actually, I think that was the best hit score I've gotten. I think the term of that effect is called chromatic aberration. Might be wrong, but they do it in a ton of games. Kind of like bloom was overused a bit. I mean, that makes sense. This feels a lot more intentional than, like, bloom just being thrown all over the place, which definitely, you're right that was definitely a thing. Okay, so I had a better score than that. 606 for deer avoided, miles in survival, deer hit in survival, deer avoided in survival. It's kind of fun. I'm sure once the game is finished, it'll have some kind of, like, Steam leaderboard too, which would be kind of fun. But cool. I think I'll call the stream here. I thought I might just, like, get a nice quick little hour in of Oh Deer, just because I've been thinking about it and was kind of craving to see where it is in its current state. And I don't know, I have a lot of fun with games like this. So yeah, otherwise, I'll be streaming again on Tuesday. So we'll be doing Zelda Second Quest. And I've been doing my homework. So hopefully I won't be super terrible at it, but it's also a lot more difficult than the first run, so we'll see. I'm not spoiling everything for myself, but I'm at least figuring out the little mini details that I need to know. They do it when under drugs or taking damage. Yeah, I mean, like, that makes sense for the screen effect. Looking forward to it despite not voting for it. Well, I'm glad you're into it, Henry. We'll see what comes after that too, because BS Zelda, I found a couple of ROMs of it, because you can't play those games normally since it was broadcast satellite only. And I'll talk about it too if I end up streaming those. But there's a group of people that have tried to salvage them and mod them so that it simulates the broadcast signal. So it used a real-time system in it too. It's crazy stuff, but I would kind of love to play it if I can make sure that those modded versions were actually finished and beatable. Looking forward to everything after Link to the Past. Link to the Past is going to be a breeze. I'm going to burn through that in probably one, maybe at most 2 streams. But I promise you I can beat that game way faster than Eddie ever did. But cool. Thanks for hanging out, whether it was just you, Henry, or the couple of you lurking. It was fun. Thanks for indulging the weird games that I choose to play. And we'll see you Tuesday. Bye, everyone.